Hello everyone, and welcome to the Archive of Antiquity channel. As the content creator for Archive of Antiquity, I recently decided that I would begin learning how to use and navigate both the pre-recorded and live stream options here on YouTube. After thinking about how best to approach my first live stream, I finally decided that the best way for me to begin would be by taking the time to introduce myself, talk about some of the reasons as to why I decided to start the channel, and give viewers some insight as to what it is that I seek to accomplish in having done so. So I'll begin by giving viewers a little background and history about myself. Like so many others who are seeking truth, knowledge, and wisdom as it relates to the past, the present, and the future of our world, I started out many years ago by wanting to know the meaning of life and what my purpose was in it. Because I had arrived at a particular point in my life where I wasn't quite sure which direction I wanted to go in, I began to wonder why I even existed. I felt unsatisfied with the career path that I had chosen to pursue and had reached a point where I had begun dreading getting up every day, preparing to go to work just to sit in hours of wall to wall rush hour traffic day in and day out, week after week, for a job that increasingly just wasn't all that fulfilling. Finally, there came a time when I had reached a crisis point and began looking for alternative ways to beat the rat race once and for all so I could ditch the 9 to 5 of corporate America. I began brainstorming and coming up with ideas based on my interests that I felt would generate enough self sustaining income so I could support myself. As I had desires of working independently and being in business for myself, I ultimately became the small business owner of a vending machine route, which was my initial experience at being an entrepreneur. Although the vending machine route was moderately successful, there were various issues related to maintaining the route that I no longer wanted to have to manage or deal with. So I determined that I would sell the route so I could dedicate my time to becoming an author and writing a book about my life experiences. Well, long story short, it was during the course of my attempts to write a personal biography about my life that I began experiencing what is termed as the dark night of the soul, where over time I found myself tumbling down a psycho-spiritual rabbit hole to the point where the world and everything that I thought I knew seemed to turn upside down. This psychological predicament that I suddenly found myself in presented many challenges because my perceptions had shifted and changed in such a way that I not only began questioning who I thought I was, but I also began questioning the world and the nature of reality itself. This psychological shift that took place within the world of my inner self ultimately led me on a spiritual quest and a journey of the soul, where in earnest I began searching for the truth and looking for the answers wherever they may be found. Having clearly crossed some sort of invisible threshold and an unexpected point of intersection on my spiritual path, I found myself drawn to learning about ancient history and the societies and cultures of historical antiquity. In my study of the historical past, I was ultimately led to conduct research about various concepts related to the occult and esoteric sciences. It was during this period of time in my life that I began to feel deeper levels of fulfillment within myself and found that I actually enjoyed conducting historical research and learning new things related to ancient history. As I continued in this newfound direction on my spiritual path, what I would ultimately come to understand was that all of this newfound activity that I found myself engaging in was actually the manifestation of my soul's purpose beginning to unfold in ways that were unexpected. Through all of the ups and downs and the many challenges that I have been presented with and have faced up to this point in my soul's journey, I must say that I never expected that the twists and turns along my spiritual path would lead me in the direction that it has. And, as a result of these experiences, all that I have come to learn thus far has ultimately culminated in a wealth of information that I will be organizing and putting together in order to share with others and the world. With that said, that pretty much sums up a little background and history about me. The next set of questions that I would like to address is what is the purpose, the focus, and the goal of this channel. The purpose of this channel is to create, develop, and share content related to ancient history, the nature of reality, metaphysics, and various works related to spirituality, the occult, and esoteric sciences. The focus of this channel is to develop content that challenges prevailing narratives of thought and to promote new possibilities and ideas that will broaden our horizons and collectively move us toward thinking outside of the box. The goal of the channel is to stimulate and provoke thought around finding solutions to some of the issues that our world currently faces. But the question becomes how and in what way? Where do we begin? And do the answers that we seek actually lay in the history of our past? Having said that, the next question becomes, what are some of the topics that will be featured on the channel? Some of the topics that I intend to cover on this channel will be related to ancient history, spirituality and spiritual warfare, the nature of reality and the perceptive field, as well as the dream analysis and interpretation of the dreamscape. With that said, I'll go ahead and move toward bringing the live stream to a close by giving viewers a brief overview of what's to come. As I have several creative irons in the fire, I have been extremely busy and working very hard in the background to prepare and develop content that I hope viewers will find interesting, engaging, and informative. As a matter of fact, some of the creative works that I have been developing for some time now have recently reached a stage where I will soon be releasing and posting them to the channel. So, if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the Arkhive of Antiquity channel and to turn on the notification bell to be notified of when I upload and post new content. Thanks for being here, thanks for listening, and until next time. Well, that's it for this video. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified when we post new videos. Until next time.